Good evening, I'm Praram Adhar. Let's begin with the main stories. Supreme Court issues a unanimous order directing the government to curb pollution at Mount Everest and regulate ascents by issuing permits only by specifying number of mountaineers, identifies possible risks of climate change. Wildfire reported in more than 50 places of the country today as well. 26 deaths reported this year alone. Home Minister Ravi Lamechhane accepts weakness in curbing fire incidents. Deceit blooms in Nepali politics. Political parties forget ideologies to form and dismantle alliances. Changes in the current coalition would not come as a surprise. And Nepal men's national cricket team to participate at the 2020 World Cup bade a farewell to depart tomorrow night. Will train for a month abroad before the mega tournament. The Supreme Court has issued a unanimous order directing the government to curb pollution at Mount Everest and also to regulate the ascents. Saying pollution was increasing at the mountains of Nepal, the Supreme Court issued the order with the objective of ensuring sanitation at the mountains. A division bench of Justices Sapana Pradhan Malla and Shushma Lata Mathema has also ordered the government to issue climbing permits only after specifying the number of mountaineers and the capacity of accommodating them. Issuing a ruling on a writ petition on a public interest litigation, the Apex Court has also prohibited the use of choppers from the base camp to peaks except for in cases of emergency rescue purpose. The government of Nepal has opened 414 mountains of Nepal, including Mount Everest, for expeditions. Thousands of mountaineers ascend these mountains each year. These mountains have long been grappling with pollution issues, including that of human excreta left by the mountaineers. Saying the Nepali mountains and glaciers were at high risks of the climate change, the Supreme Court has also identified possible risks caused by the melting of glaciers and glacial lake outburst floods. Wildfire have been reported in more than 50 places of several districts of the country today as well. The wildfire at a forest in Patletar of Surya Vinayak municipality, ward number 4, Vaktapur, which began 2 days ago, is yet to be extinguished. Police has said that problems have surfaced in extinguishing the wildfire, which is spread from Mahalakshmi municipality, ward number 9 of Lalitpur, to Patletar through Birua of Surya Vinayak. Prior to this, a fire at the southern section of the Pilot Baba Ashram in Surya Vinayak municipality, ward number 7, was extinguished after 4 days. In Ramechhap municipality, ward number 8 of Ramechhap, 32-year-old Ramita Thamang was killed while trying to extinguish the wildfire, which spread to the human settlement. With the 2 houses and animal sheds destroyed, 48 carols were killed in the blaze. Elsewhere, a house of local resident Mohan Nepali was burned to ashes because of a wildfire at the community forest of Budiganga municipality in Bazura. In Songkhwasava, 2 houses were completely destroyed by a fire at Dharmadevi municipality, ward number 3, Mude Bazar. Another fire at Katike community forest of Khandbari municipality, ward number 10, Chandanpur, was extinguished by the police and local residents. 26 deaths have been reported so far this year due to fire. The Home Ministry has said losses worth 1,230 million rupees have been accounted so far. The data was shared by Home Secretary Eknarayan Aryal at today's meeting of the Committee of Federalism, Enablement and National Concerns. It is between the period of Nepali month of Baisakh of year 2080 till 20th of Baisakh this year. At the meeting, Home Minister Ravi Lamechhane said an ambulance service was needed to protect the lives of those facing the disaster and highlighted on the need for a separate budget to control such incidents. Nepal has been bearing losses of lives, carols, food grains, infrastructure, among others. The ministry has informed that families affected by fire have been provided 15 to 20,000 rupees through Chief District Officer, and talks were underway for their relocation to temporary shelters by amending existing regulations. According to the ministry, losses of 41,600 million rupees due to disasters were reported in the past 10 years. Likewise, 22,822 had lost their lives to road accidents and 48,616 injured in the past decade. Despite several efforts to regain the 108 ropenis of land encroached by the laboratory school in Kantipur, the Tribhuvan University has not achieved any success. Physical infrastructures of the laboratory school established for operation of lab facilities for students and teachers of the College of Education, a government institution, have been built over the land of the TU. Initially established as a government school, it was later converted into private institution, after which the physical infrastructures and the land were grabbed. After being transformed as a private school and being operated through a gutti, the school has not agreed to leave the land and infrastructures. The TU has been making several efforts to vacate the government property, while several student unions have been holding protests. The Trivandrum University has been regularly corresponding for the return of 108 rupees of land grabbed by the lab school. Despite 150 such letters being sent to the school in the past decade, it has yet to vacate the property. According to the TU General Administration, despite several efforts, the laboratory school has turned deaf ears to the calls. The school is currently operating from the building of the TU built over the university's land. While in the initial days, the school used to issue warnings saying the land did not belong to the university, in recent time it has been hesitating to vacate the property under different pretexts. The physical infrastructure was constructed for practical sessions of students enrolled at the College of Education located at Chet Bhawan, Lazimpat. However, after the modality of the college was transformed, a school was established at the government land and infrastructures with the objective of running classes until grade 4. The institution was then developed as a model government school which provided quality education. A report of the university has stated that the government school was all of a sudden transformed to a private school in the Nepali year 2034 BS, after which irregularities increased further. Amidst dispute between the TU and the laboratory school, the Ministry of Education had leased the land to a non-government organization for a period of 15 years on 28th of July 2000. While nearing the end of the lease, the NGO, which included members from TU itself and others with political backing and political backgrounds, had registered the land under gutti and started operating the school through the gutti itself. Then Vice-Chancellor Naveen Prakash Dongsha had expressed concern over the decision and had corresponded with the Ministry of Education. Student unions were also against the move and have still been protesting against it. However, the protests failed to gain shape because of political protection to those involved. The TU Executive Council had requested the Ministry of Education to facilitate the return of the land 19 years ago. A notice was then published in Gorkhapatra 4 years later, urging for the relocation of the school and not to admit students. In addition to the involvement of powerful politicians in the gutti, loans were taken from the Everest Bank with the physical infrastructures of the school as collaterals. TU had also corresponded with the Ministry of Home Affairs on 8th of April 2015, seeking support for relocation of the school. And despite the Home Ministry then corresponding to the police headquarters, the school did not vacate the land. Nepali politics has almost always been plagued by deceit. Politicians who are seen together one day switch alliances the very next day. The ruling coalition has witnessed 3 changes in the period of 16 months of the election of the House of Representatives. With the current coalition of CPN-UML and CPN-Maoist Center among 5 parties marking barely 2 months, ploys have already begun. There would be no surprise if NANT changes its mood, leading to formation of a new coalition. No party generated a majority from the 2022 parliamentary election, which led to a race among the parties to form the government by forming alliances. Because of this, 3 changes have already been witnessed in the political equations in a short period of 16 months. However, even with these changes, largest party of the House of Representatives, Nepali Congress, and second largest party, CPN-UML, have not led the government as of yet. Chairperson of CPN-Maoist Center, the third party of the parliament, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, has been leading the government by creating a clash between the 2 large parties. He has been securing his designation by deceiving Nepali Congress and CPN-UML. Having formed an electoral alliance with Nepali Congress, CPN-Maoist Center formed the government with CPN-UML. However, that alliance did not even last for 2 months. Maoist Center then left CPN-UML and joined hands with Nepali Congress, which again barely lasted for a year as Maoist Center returned to UML. Large parties have been deceived time and again because of Maoist Center Pushpa Kamal Dahal's power affinity. Dahal seems to be focused only on retaining his position. Members of the ruling parties themselves are not sure about how long the current 5-party alliance would last. Having been deceived by the Maoist Center on several occasions, Nepali Congress is busy in efforts to formulate an alternate alliance. Prime Minister Dahal wants to contest the next election with the current 5-party alliance. However, CPN Unified Socialist Chairperson Madhav Kumar Nepal's statements raising questions on the nature of CPN-UML Chairperson KP Sharma Oli and hinting towards quitting the government could hurt Dahal's aspirations at any point of time. Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba has been making efforts for formation of an alliance with parties other than CPN-UML, CPN-Maoist Center and Rashtriya Swatantra Party. Such an alliance would generate a marginal majority. Another prospect is where Deuba could work on reviving the previous alliance with the government being led by Dahal. However, once bitten, twice shy, this prospect is less prioritized by Dewa. The fourth possibility is an alliance between Nepali Congress and CPN-UML. It has been understood that both parties are busy in homeworks in this regard. However, there are a few voices inside UML opposing the idea of the largest and second largest party of the parliament collaborating for the formation of the government. With the third, fourth and fifth parties of the parliament being decisive because of the parliamentary mathematics, the ruling alliance will always remain at risk of being dismantled. In addition to that, political parties are prioritizing power instead of their agenda and ideologies, because of which further changes in the alliance would not come as a surprise. It is now time for our segment Public Polls, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Poll.
Before we ask today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked, massive losses are being caused by wildfires across the country. Why has the government not been able to take effective steps to control the wildfires? 60% were for A, heights of irresponsibility, 9% were for B, lack of coordination, and 31% were for C, no preventive measures. And now here is our today's question. What do you term the persisting deceit in the politics of alliances? Your options are A, signs of split of the coalition, B, power-focused politics, and C, alliance sans policies. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001. In our Public Voice segment, today we've asked in several provinces, what should be done to protect the public from misinformation and disinformation? Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
नराम्रो सूचना दिनेलाई राज्यले कारबाही गरेर ठीक बाटोमा ल्याउनु पर्छ।
सामाजिक सञ्जाललाई नियमन र नियन्त्रण गर्नु जरुरी छ।
समाचार बनाउने मिडिया कर्मी र पत्रकार आफै सचेत हुनु पर्यो।
सबै जागरुक हुनुपर्छ अनि मात्रै बस्न सक्छौं, अन्यथा बस्न सक्दैनौं।
हामीलाई मिथ्या लागेका कुराहरू सम्बन्धित निकायमा उजुर पनि गर्न सक्छौं।
हामीले त्यो पहिला तथ्य बुझ्नु पर्यो। न्युज लेखेको सही छैन, त्यही अनुसारले हामी हिँड्नु पर्यो।
जुन पत्रिका हामी सब पढिरहेछौं, चलिरहेछ, हेरेको छौं, जानकारीमा छौं, त्यसलाई विश्वास गर्छौं।
जसले एकदमै फेक न्यूज गर्यो नि, त्यसलाई चाहिँ सँगसँगै रिपोर्ट गर्दै ब्लक गरिदिदै हिँड्छ।
गलत लेखेकोहरूलाई कारबाही गरेर बन्न सकिन्छ।
आफूले पनि त्यो सूचनाहरूलाई पहिचान गरेर मात्रै बुझ्नुपर्छ।
गैरकानुनी गरेर कारबाही गर्दाखेरि बच्न सकिन्छ।
बिना प्रमाणहरूको चाहिँ प्रचार गर्नेहरूलाई चाहिँ कारबाही गर्यो भने चाहिँ त्यो हट्न सकिन्छ।
सामाजिक सञ्जाल फेसबुकमा आउने गलत सूचनाहरूलाई चाहिँ नियमन तथा नियन्त्रण गर्नुपर्छ।
It is now time for a short break, but for more news, to stay with us. Nepal Telecommunications Authority has warned of taking actions against internet service providers or the ISPs failing to abide by the Telecommunications Act and ignoring the terms and conditions of their license. Reminding that internet is an essential service, the NTA has also directed to ensure uninterrupted internet. Issuing a release 24 hours after internet services were interrupted, the authority has warned of taking actions against the ISPs as provisioned by the law if such instances repeat in days ahead. It has been learned that the interrupted internet services resumed after the authority had suggested the Indian ISPs to resume internet connection for Nepal. However, with persisting risks of interruption in internet services, the authority has directed the ISPs to focus on finding long-term solutions to the problem. As most government and private services are based on the internet, the authority has said that service seekers would be at the receiving end if internet connection is interrupted even for a few minutes. Meanwhile, saying the ISPs collect payment from service seekers in advance and do not pay taxes to the government, the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology has urged the ISPs not to interrupt internet services. Issuing a release, the ministry has reiterated its stance that it would not issue recommendations for foreign exchange until the ISPs pay taxes as provisioned by the law and regulations. Most Nepali ISPs purchase bandwidth from the Indian company Airtel, for which payment needs to be made in US dollars. The internet services of a few entities were interrupted as the recommendations for US dollar payments were halted by the ministry as an action for failing to pay taxes. The government had taken actions against the ISPs after they failed to pay 3.5 billion rupees in royalties and deposits at the Rural Telecommunications Development Fund. Parliamentarians have suggested the budget for the upcoming fiscal year to focus on manufacturing sector. At the meeting of the Committee on Development, Economic Affairs and Good Governance under the National Assembly, the parliamentarians said that environment for industrialization was degrading in the country and the entities with projects from government investment were failing to perform. They drew the attention of Minister for Finance Barshaman Pun in this regard. The parliamentarians also suggested for addressing problems related to brain drain and issues of the victims of cooperatives. Questions were also raised on the productivity of the external loans taken by the government. Minister for Finance Pun said the budget for the upcoming fiscal year would focus on agriculture, tourism, energy and innovation. Saying programs were formulated on the basis of the ceiling of 1.8 trillion rupees set by the National Planning Commission, Minister Pun added that there were tremendous pressure on additional programs. Meanwhile, Minister Pun expressed the commitment of erasing the trend of receiving salaries without performing at public organizations. Nepali nationals will soon be able to make digital payments through QR codes in India. As of now, Indian nationals are able to make payments in Nepal through the Unified Payment Interface platform. Organizing a program in Kathmandu, PhonePe has said that services have been efficient as Indian nationals have been able to make payments through QR codes in Nepal. The entity has claimed that the users of the service, which began 2 months ago, have increased in numbers as well. Indian tourists have been making payments from the Unified Payment Interface at tourist destinations, hotels, restaurants and even regular shops. However, Nepali nationals have not been able to use such a facility in India so far. PhonePe India has also presented its services provided through the Unified Payment Interface platform. Nepali digital wallet, PhonePe had assisted in the process. The program also delved into Nepal's economy and cross-border payment in the financial sector.
It's been a very transformative shift as far as the Nepal's payment ecosystem is concerned. I think there is more to be done, but at least the initial, the building blocks that have been laid is very encouraging with these initiatives where the cross-border payments using apps from different countries, especially I'm talking in context of India now, can be used here, and the very fact that that infrastructure exists is a very encouraging sign.
Experts participating at the program had said that Nepal's digital infrastructure was weak and suggested for increasing investments. PhonePe is an Indian fintech company with its daily transactions figuring more than 230 million rupees. Nepal men's national cricket team to participate at the ICC 2020 Men's Cricket World Cup has been bid a farewell today. Cricket Association of Nepal Minister for Youth and Sports Biraj Vakta Shrestha and Member Secretary of the National Sports Council Tonkalal Ghising wished well for the team's performances at the World Cup and bid them a goodbye. The Rhinos are currently playing a 5-match 2020 series against West Indies, which concludes tomorrow. Following conclusion of the series, the national team will leave for the tournament tomorrow night itself and will prepare for a period of 1 month abroad. The Nepali team to participate at the World Cup was announced 2 days ago. Bidding a farewell to the team, CAN Press Secretary Paras Khodka said that the World Cup was just the beginning and added that much had to be done in the future to regularly feature at coming World Cups. He also identified the need for efforts from all sectors to gain test status. Addressing the program, Nepal captain Rohit Paudel said that the team had reached a status of inspiring the next generation to play cricket. And that is all for the moment. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.